It started with a small town called Ravenswood, a place everyone knew but no one ever really talked about. There was an old house at the edge of the woods, abandoned for decades, with windows that seemed like hollow eyes staring at anyone who passed. People said strange things happened there, but most dismissed it as local superstition except for Emma, a young journalist who had just moved into town. She had heard whispers about the house from the few locals willing to speak. People disappear, they said, or go in and come out. Different. Emma, always hungry for a story, decided she had to see it for herself. On a cold October evening, when the sun had just disappeared behind heavy clouds, she walked toward the house. The wind carried a low moan, as if the trees themselves were warning her to stay away. The front door creaked as she pushed it open. Dust filled the air, and the smell of decay was overwhelming. Her flashlight barely cut through the darkness, but she could make out old furniture covered in white sheets, like specters frozen in time. Every step she took echoed too loudly in the empty house. It felt alive. Then she heard a soft whisper from upstairs. Emma Frossi. The voice wasn't loud, just a quiet, dragging sound that seemed to say her name. Her instinct screamed to run, but her curiosity pulled her toward the staircase. Each step groaned under her weight, and as she reached the top, she saw the hallway lined with dozens of portraits. Faces stared at her with eyes so lifelike she could swear they followed her. Some were smiling, some grimacing, but all of them were wrong. The skin in the paintings seemed to ripple, as if breathing. Emma's flashlight flickered, and suddenly, she noticed a figure at the end of the hallway. A man, tall and thin, dressed in clothes that looked decades old. His face was pale, too pale, and his eyes were black holes. She couldn't see a mouth, yet she heard a soft, guttural laugh echoing in her head. She tried to speak, to call out, but no sound came. The figure began moving toward her, slow, deliberate, but each step made the floorboards squeal in a way that sounded like someone or something was screaming. She turned and ran, heart hammering, tripping over debris as the shadows seemed to stretch and reach for her. The hallway twisted impossibly. The door she had entered through was now gone, replaced by another dark corridor that hadn't existed before. And the whispering returned, louder now, hundreds of voices speaking at once, in languages she couldn't understand. Emma stumbled into a room and found a small table covered in dusty toys. Dolls with eyes that glinted in the dark. One doll slowly turned its head to face her, though no one had touched it. The black-eyed man appeared in the corner again, but now he wasn't alone. Shadows moved behind him, forming shapes children, adults, faces she didn't recognize but felt disturbingly familiar. They all reached toward her, not with hands, but with the emptiness of longing. She screamed, and the world seemed to collapse. The floor gave way, plunging her into a basement that smelled of wet earth and something far fouler. She saw the walls covered in names, hundreds of them, etched deep as if carved by someone's fingernails. Her own name appeared at the bottom, freshly carved, bleeding into the stone. Panic consumed her, but she had no strength to move. The whispers turned into chants, and the black-eyed man's voice, now all-encompassing, said, "You came here. Now you belong." Emma's vision blurred. The air thickened, and she felt herself pulled toward the shadows. And then, as suddenly as it began, it stopped. She woke outside the house, dawn breaking over Ravenswood. The front door was shut. The house looked abandoned as ever. No one believed her story. The locals just shook their heads, warning her never to go back. But something had changed. When she looked into mirrors that morning, she swore her reflection was wrong. Just for a moment, the black-eyed man's face flickered in place of her own, and every night after, she could hear soft whispers calling her name, reminding her that the house never really lets go.